Summer's coming. Gonna add something to our backyard here that will help us cool off from the heat. Stay tuned. Welcome to Retire Ready. Going to be adding a stock tank pool, 10-foot round, metal, to our back yard here. So we're going to attach it to our little fire pit area. So here it is. So we've done step one here, and that is remove the dirt. I dug out with the skid steer a area about 14 foot around, goes into the deck area a little bit, and just got enough so down to the regular dirt, not the topsoil. So that's out, and I did that using that. All right, step two, lay down some black road tarp. This prevents it from shifting and sinking into the ground. I'll be laying out that gravel on here next. Gravel is mostly level. Got to trim off the excess black tarp. So I'll give that a shot right here. Okay, now that I got that trimmed, I got to mark where my stock tank is going to go. So this area here, marked in orange, is where the sand's going to be, where the pool will sit underneath. So I have to build up the sides with gravel and get it level inside the orange. Okay, if you're wondering how I get things level, I use a laser level. It's an old school level that I've known about for probably 15, 20 years almost. Anyways, here it is. I'll show you. So this is the laser level. It's called the Robo level. It sits on a tripod. The tripod is right here. And try and do this with one hand. On the bottom, it's got a couple of screw attachments, one for a big, one for a small tripod. But anyways, I just screw that on here. The base moves, so you got to hold on to it a bit so it gets tight. And I was using this, so I know this is the level I need. The legs do adjust on this tripod, so when it's tight. Now I just lift that up, extend the aerial, make sure that it swivels for uneven surfaces here. If it goes out of levels too much, the light will flash because it'll be, I don't know if you can see in there, but it's jiggling. It's on a pendulum. So that's pretty level there. It's about in the center. And got my remote here. So There, it's come on. You can see that right there. And off. On and off. Okay, so that's that part. So what I do first, check where I want to be. I'm lining up the level. I don't know if you can see that little dot there. And I can move that dot back and forth. Hopefully that shows up on the camera. And then I check my levels here. I can see right there is about an inch lower than where as I raise it, the dot goes. So that's how I check with my levels. So I'll go around and I'll check all this stuff, and then I can shut it off. And it's fine. All right, brought in some sand, packed it down a bit by stepping on it, and mostly leveled it out. So it's getting close. Decided to paint the bottom of the stock tank here. What I'm doing is I used primer that's meant for galvanized metal, and then I'm topping it off with truck bed liner. I'm just using a spray bomb, so just to give it a little extra protection. It's always sitting in the moisture. I'm pretty much finished screeding or leveling my sand, but I'll show you how I did it with using a 2x6. And that's how you get your sand level. I finished painting this with the truck bed liner. A bunch of fluff on it from the trees here, the poplar trees. But overall it turned out pretty good. So, pulled the tape off the bottom. It's ready to be put in place. Okay, I got the pool in place. And I'm in the process of starting to cut out the hole for the skimmer over there. So that's where I'm at. All right, here's the piece I cut out with my jigsaw. And it's got a concave area here. So I have to hammer that flat. And the way I did that was I had an old hammerhead here, but you can use an automotive volley. Not perfectly flat, but I think it'll, when I put the piece in there, I think it'll go flat. But just hammer that flat. Have to go back a little ways to get it to go, to get it to stay flat. It worked not too bad. You got it to the maximum height just under that ring, so it's ready to go. I'm gonna give it a little blast of zinc paint on these holes just so it doesn't rust out. Should be good to go. Install the. All right, this turned out really well. Good seal. I siliconed it. Normally you wouldn't have to, but it all worked out pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with how the whole thing turned out. All right, I hooked up my pump and my sand filter. Tied in 2 spots where I can go to a gas or a wood-fired burner to warm up the water, like a wood stove. And then drill the hole for the entrance. And I'm starting to fill. Everything's looking pretty good. Well, that was my video on the stock tank pool install. Hope you liked it. If you could, hit the subscribe button. Appreciate it. And we will talk to you later.